Let's figure out which one of the new graphics modes is going to be best for you in GTA 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X and S. That was one of the big selling points of these new versions, was that they're going to have 3 new detailed graphic settings. So let's go ahead and dive into them right now. The first one is Fidelity Mode. And Rockstar says that this is tuned for the highest visual quality and targets 30 FPS. Now, in this mode, when you're on the PS5 and the Xbox Series X, it's going to support native 4K with ray tracing enabled, while the Xbox Series S supports upscaled 4K resolution. So in all the modes we're going to be looking at here, the Xbox Series S is kind of the little brother of the group. It can keep up. It's just a little bit slower. Your best results are obviously going to be on a PS5 and a Series X Xbox. So in Fidelity Mode, you're basically going to get the best possible graphic visual quality that you can get. And this is apparent all the way around in the characters, in the cars, in the foliage, in the trees, in the reflections that you end up seeing. You're going to just be getting the highest level visual quality possible from these titles. Now, the one thing that I was not a big fan of, and this is just me personally, is that you're still stuck in 30 FPS. As we'll talk about some of the other modes, that's actually something that feels just really smooth. But if that's not a big deal to you, if you like the feel of 30 FPS or don't care about getting to 60 frames per second, then Fidelity Mode is honestly going to be the one for you. Why would you not? Why would you not play in 4K? Why would you not have the highest visual quality possible? So that's Fidelity Mode. That's going to give you sort of the best looking GTA experience. Then there is Performance Mode. And Performance Mode is tuned for the most responsive gameplay experience and is going to target 60 FPS. So on the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox Series X, support will upscale 4K resolution, while the Series S is going to give you 1080p. So Performance Mode is essentially your least taxing mode on your console. So it's going to be the worst graphical performance one. Now, when I say worst, it's not exactly like you're going to 8-bit Minecraft quality here, but you are going to notice some differences. You're going to notice it in the reflections and a little bit in the characters and the way that the world looks and feels. Now, on the other side of that, because you're in this performance mode that's going to, take the heat off your systems a little bit, you're probably going to notice it's very snappy. You're not going to notice any glitches or humps or bumps or anything like that. It's going to be a very smooth experience for you and your console. But that's kind of like the lowest graphical mode. And then you have Performance RT mode, which is essentially a hybrid of fidelity and performance, which enables 4K resolution with ray tracing enabled and targets 60 FPS. So a lot of you guys are probably hearing this word right now, ray tracing. What is that and what makes it so good? It's essentially a method of graphics rendering that simulates the physical behavior of light. It makes it look as realistic as possible. Essentially, you get rays of light into a scene, bouncing them off surfaces and towards sources of light to approximate color, the weather that might be going on in the world, the lighting that you ultimately see. That's what ray tracing is. It's basically an improved bougie lighting engine for your game. And this is honestly the one that I prefer the best. Now, for a couple of reasons. Number one, I'm not playing on a 4K monitor, so I can't take advantage of the entire fidelity 4K. I'm playing on one that's in 2K. So the Performance RT mode's upscaled 4K resolution is just fine for me. I am able to notice a little bit of the rating, but the big thing for me is I still get 60 FPS. So it really is the best of both worlds, at least for me. I would say that most people are probably going to stay in either Fidelity or Performance RT mode. You guys can let me know in those comments down below which one you're ultimately going to be choosing. Now, regardless of what new version you choose, there's going to be across-the-board improvements, including faster loading times. That's something that I have significantly noticed, whether it's going from a new GTA Online lobby or whether it's loading up the game for the first time. Increased population and traffic variety. That's also something I've noticed too. Increased vegetation density, so trees, grass, plants, bushes. improved lighting quality across shadows. That's going to be our ray tracing a little bit, water reflections, and other elements. Now, that part is massive. So I can't wait for it to rain in your guys' game. It's going to look awesome. The rain has been improved. The water you see on the ground looks fantastic when it puddles up. There's also new anti-aliasing, motion blur, and what I've noticed the most is the highly detailed new explosions and fire. So just go ahead and blow up a car, or you might even notice the muzzle flash from shooting one of your weapons. It has been significantly improved. I don't know why Rockstar honed in and focused on this as much as they did, but it really does look incredible. I've definitely got to give them that. The explosions and fire look ridiculous. Now, I have played on both Xbox and PS5, and I've also noticed that a lot of fun stuff with the sound and the controller. So on the PS5, you get this really cool haptic feedback and dynamic resistance via the adaptive triggers on the PS5's controller. So this is going to add new sensations to weather effects and directional damage, rough road surfaces, explosions, and gunshots that you might end up firing. It really does take some time to get used to. You're like, what the heck is going on with my controller right now? It feels a little bit weird in your hands, but once you get used to it, man, does it feel realistic. And there's also some cool immersive audio like Tempest 3D positional audio on the PS5 and spatial sound on the Series X and S. I mean, your cars sound amazing. The chatter of NPCs running by, they sound really realistic and lifelike. Now, keep in mind that at the end of the day, this is a game originally from 2013, and it's not going to be perfect. Like, for example, even on these new console editions, we still don't have working mirrors on vehicles. So there were some things that were improved, but it looks like Rockstar wasn't able to fix everything, or maybe there was just things that were impossible to fix. But just know that it is not going to be the end-all, be-all ultimate fix. This is like a nice upgrade and improvement, and I'm guessing that's why Rockstar priced it the way they did. I would have actually preferred if it was just a free update all the way around, like we're seeing with a bunch of other game developers and what they end up doing, but that was Rockstar's choice, or it might not have been their choice. It might have been something above their heads and they couldn't control it, but those are the three modes right there. Again, let me know in those comments down below which one you are leaning towards the most. I don't think that you're going to have to understand a lot about video game graphics to spot some of the differences here, and to me, they're all really positive improvements. So I would, of course, love to hear from you guys in those comments down below. Let me know what you think about the new modes for GTA 5 and Grand Theft Auto Online. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go and enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and all the Rockstar Games videos that I'll be doing here on my channel. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.